Hello and welcome to your astrological vibrations for Saturday, April 25th, 2020 by Gaia Blooming. I am Mimi and our energy mantra for today is I value both the light and the shadow in my process. And I'm going to start off a little announcement. We have found a place, a home. So over this next week, we will be moving. It'll be easier than the last how many moves because it's only a half an hour away from here. I will do my best to show up daily, but if I'm a little more absent than usual, that would be why. So that being said, woo, we have major weekend energy going on. We have Pluto and Uranus, my super planetary agents of change, both being strongly activated this weekend. So we'll start with Pluto because today we have Pluto going retrograde. So Pluto will be retrograde all the way through October 4th. So here comes the long haul. Now, anytime a planet goes retrograde, it's reworking the lessons. So really thinking about the lessons that we've had. And because Pluto moves so slowly, it's not just over the last, say, 7-8 months since it was retrograde. I don't even know, maybe 6. How long does it stay retrograde for? Math is not my forte when it comes to planets. Even beyond that, like Pluto moves so slowly, these lessons are lessons, some of the degrees of Pluto that we've been working over, I would say a good year and a half to maybe even, the year and a half. So what have been your lessons around empowerment, especially in regards to the shoulds, in regards to authority, your authority and authority outside of yourself, in regards to the foundations that you've laid in your life, your lessons around patriarchal energy. All of this will be coming up that you've gone through over the last year and a half. Here we go. We get to review it. We get to dig in. Retrograde turns us within. So we may be like, that over there is power hungry, and that over there is power hungry, and that over there is power hungry. And all of those fingers that are pointing out there are reminding you that there's somewhere when you're pointing out their power hungry that maybe you're not stepping into your power, for instance. Or that person, they think they know everything. Where have you given that authority away? Really notice those power plays, the power dynamics, where you are being called to empower yourself. Really bring this back to yourself. Now, the other thing we need to be really aware of with Pluto energy, Pluto really brings up shadow and light energy. I always say Pluto is the darkest dark and the lightest light, both at the same time. But in order to really step into that light, just like in order to really step into your power, you have to notice where's the shadow. You have to notice where there may be that victim energy. So be very in tune with this coming up for you through October. Now, it's also interesting because Pluto is so activated right now. It is not going to meet up again with Saturn, but all those thank God. But Pluto and Jupiter will be meeting again 2 more times this year. So we still have that expansion energy of Jupiter, which can expand the light of Pluto and it can expand the shadow of Pluto. And usually it does both because, again, they work so in balance with each other. So do be willing to do this inner work. Do be willing to show up for yourself there, and do be willing to be honest with yourself. There is nobody who does not have some level of shadow, and there's nobody who doesn't have some work, and there's nobody who doesn't have some level of shame that they carry around this energy. And yet we're all in this together, processing, doing this work. So do hold space for that during this Pluto energy. Now, it's interesting because, like I said, we're building to this Uranus and Sun conjunction. That's going to be happening early Sunday morning. So, major electrical, mental energies going off. It can be frenetic. It can make you feel like I said, kind of like inflammation inside or buzzy and like, I always say tired and wired. Like today knocked me out. And it could be the cat's fault too. Yeah, see, he does that at 4 in the morning and it's very noisy. So, but be aware of that, and that grounding energy and that turning within will help. Did you come to say hi? You want to say hi? Mahalo came for a cameo. He never does this, so, you know, say hi. Thanks for putting up with my kitties. Anyway, with this energy building, I see this in Joe really strongly. It does either one of the two things. He's the wired one. He is like running around packing, getting everything ready to move. And I literally was a sloth in bed and I needed it. And I am grateful that I was able to do that. So be aware of that energy incoming, but also be aware that that grounding will support you getting grounded. Here, we have her feeling grounded, and we've got this energy right here, grounded. Being, even if you're like in a, 10-story building, feel your root energies go into the earth. That's going to help you. It's also going to help you because, like I said, these agents of change, these agents of transformation, they're both being enacted. So even if you don't have imminent change like we do, change is in the air. And we as humans resist it. But being grounded, it's not going to keep you stuck in place. It's not like grounding yourself like a tree. It's just like the earth is holding me and I can show up for whatever is needed at me at this time because I have this wonderful backup. So do keep that in mind with this energy. Now, the other thing, which I mentioned yesterday, but this is super strong too, we have some really strong mental energies coming in. And this can really serve your light and your shadow, and it can really like, woo, your light and your shadow energies. We have the moon moving into Gemini at 12:20 a.m. That's also going to heighten those electrical, like mental, frenetic energies. The monkeys are bouncing around like they're in a bouncy house in your mind. But we have Mercury connecting to both Pluto and Jupiter. Mahalo, it's not going to happen while I'm doing this. Come here. Come chill. He's insistent. Sorry. Anyway, okay. Moon in Gemini and then Mercury squaring those energies. So Moon in Gemini. I said this yesterday. Sorry if I'm repeating myself. Keep your mindfulness ahead of those mental energies. Now the mindfulness, it's not going to stop the stories from running, but you can watch the stories. Now, the stories and what they're showing you, they can tell you where you're at in regards to your light and your shadow process, your value process, your worth process, all of these things, the authority energy, the power stuff, all of that is going to be coming up in your mind. So pay attention because that's giving you something that you can work with. Be here now. Be willing to listen to the story, because if it's telling a story, this is a story that exists somewhere within you. It may be in another time, dimension, place, space, but it's being carried in your energy field if it's popping up. So do take that, listen to it, and offer yourself to it. You don't have to shame yourself. You don't have to poo-poo it. Be present with it, because that's where that change, that's where that empowerment, that's where that revolution, evolution energy really can happen. With those squares, that Mercury in Aries squaring Jupiter and Pluto in Capricorn. Train horn. It's very noisy here right now. With that energy in that square, really being very aware of who you are and where these energies come from outside that try to put you out, push you out of that energy. That Jupiter is like, what is the foundation that you're building? Can you be true to yourself? Can you be true to your integrity in it? Take back that authority. And it doesn't mean that people can't feed in, but don't let them hijack your I am. Don't let them hijack your authority. Don't let them hijack your power. This is where you get to stand up in and through that. So let's look at these cards. Actually, I have the patience card in reverse, which feels very ungrounded. You want to be patient with this energy. Like I said, Pluto's going to be retrograding for a while, and it's just kicking off all of the retrogrades. This summer, we have another summer of retrograde. So get ready. Start doing the work, and it just makes all of the rest of the retrogrades that much easier. Because it's never easy. It's always work, but, you know, it starts the process, and it gets you ready for that. So patience with it, slowing down. It's like, how much slower can we go? But I think this is a reminder when you're feeling that frenetic energy, you know, stop. Are you meeting your needs? Are you meeting those physical needs that you have? That's part of valuing yourself. Be here now. Slow down. Patience. Be here now in this moment. Don't forget your innocence. Don't forget your light, especially if you're doing shadow work. God, it can sometimes take us into such a deep and dark place, and yet that light is there. Tune into that. Your inner child may need you to be like, hey, how you doing with all this? Because a lot of times, that's one of the places that we're processing. And finally, I have the ripeness card, which is like, you're ready, and this is part of the natural process. It's like the fruit falling from the tree. This is part of the ripening. This is part of becoming fruit. It sounds funny. I think that's a biblical reference. I'm going to be a pineapple. Wear my pineapple crown. Okay. Silliness. Innocence is still here. Becoming the fruit, you know, really becoming juicy, really bringing nutrition, bringing an offering to the world. So it is a very good reference, even though it sounds a little bit silly. We've talked about monkeys and fruit. We've had a howling cat and a train. I think we're done. So, good luck. Email me if you'd like a reading. I will not be doing readings this week, but the week after I should be set up and doing them again. So if you'd like to do that, get in line. Besides that, the better it gets, the better it gets. There's more than enough love in the world for you, and you do have the power. Namaste.